You think you're gonna get greatness at a bargain price? You think success is sitting on the clearance rack? No, success is never on discount. Listen to me. This ain't Walmart. This ain't the dollar store. This is life. And in life, success doesn't go on sale. You don't get to say, I'll take greatness, but I don't want to pay full price. You don't get to be a legend working part-time hours. See, some of y'all want success, but you don't want to suffer. You want the rewards, but you don't want the pain. You want the six-pack, but you don't want to wake up at 4 a.m. and hit the gym. You want the business, but you won't read a book. You won't study the craft. You won't invest in yourself. You waiting for life to give you a coupon. Life don't do discounts. If it's valuable, you gotta pay for it. If it's worth something, it requires sacrifice. I paid for mine in blood, sweat, and tears. You think I got this grind from comfort? I was homeless. I slept in abandoned buildings. I ate out of trash cans. But I still showed up, still worked, still believed. Because I knew success is full price only. And you're either gonna pay now and play later, or play now and pay later. But either way, you're gonna pay. So stop looking for easy. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop comparing your journey to somebody else's timeline. They paid their price. Now it's your turn. You wanna be legendary? Like it. Move like it. Because success ain't cheap. Success is never on discount. You either pay the price or you stay the same. Period. You wanna win. You wanna be successful. You wanna be great. But let me tell you something you might not want to hear. Success demands full price. It ain't on sale. It ain't half off. You don't get a discount because you had a hard childhood. You don't get a pass because you're tired or you're stressed or life hasn't been fair. Nobody walks up to the cashier of greatness and said, "Can I get this for less?" and walks away with it. That's not how it works. Success is full price only, and you have to pay up every single day. You have to understand, when you say, I want to be successful, you're saying, I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to go through pain. I'm willing to lose sleep. I'm willing to be uncomfortable. I'm willing to do the hard things that others won't. That's what full price looks like. You don't get to show up when it's easy. You don't get to work when you feel good and take off when you're tired. That's not how champions are made. Champions pay the price whether they feel like it or not. Let me ask you, when's the last time you woke up before the sun to work on your goals? Ooh. When's the last time you turned off the phone, cut out distraction, and locked in on your dream like your life depended on? When's the last time you said no to comfort so you could say yes to progress? See, everybody wants success, but not everybody's willing to bleed for it. Not everybody's willing to sacrifice. But success is stubborn. Success don't move for feelings. Success don't care about your story, your background, your excuses. Success only listens to the ones who show up, pay the price, and keep showing up when it gets hard. You want to be a leader? Pay the price. You want to own a business? Pay the price. You want to be an elite athlete, a top student, a great artist, a powerful speaker? Pay the price, because none of that comes for free. You don't luck your way into greatness. You grind your way in. You suffer your way in. You fail forward. You take hits and keep moving. You go through the fire, not around it. You pay in full with your time, your energy, your discipline, and your relentless effort. Some of you are trying to finance success like it's a car. You think you can pay in small monthly payments, a few hours here, a little work there, and somehow buy your way into a life of freedom and purpose. But success doesn't work on installments. You either give your all or you stay where you are. You either go all in or you stay average. There's no in between. Look around. The ones at the top, they didn't get there by accident. They weren't just lucky. They paid full price. And then some. While you were sleeping, they were working. While you were partying, they were planning. While you were making excuses, they were building. And that's why they're winning. That's why they shine. Because they were willing to do what most people aren't. You want to be next? You want your name to be remembered? Then you got to ask yourself, what am I willing to give up? What am I willing to suffer? What am I willing to endure to earn my place? Because success doesn't care what you say you want. It only responds to what you're willing to give. Some days you're going to feel like quitting. Some days the pain will be too much. You'll feel exhausted, overlooked, unappreciated. But that's when you remind yourself, I'm paying the price. I'm not supposed to feel good. I'm not supposed to be comfortable. I'm not here to coast. I'm here to coast. I'm here to conquer. And that mindset, that's the price of entry. Understand this. You're not just buying success with money. You buy it with sweat, with failure, with frustration, with faith, with resilience. You buy it with your habits, your choices, your actions every single day. And the moment you try to cut corners, the moment you start looking for a discount, you disqualify yourself from greatness. Because success has no sympathy for shortcuts. So don't complain. Don't cry about how hard it is. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to challenge you. That's what makes it valuable. That's what makes it real. If everyone could have it, it wouldn't be success. It would be ordinary. But you were never made for ordinary. You were made to be exceptional. And if you want to live that truth, if you want to walk that path, then you have to be ready to pay what it costs. Every second, every rep, every sacrifice. Pay the price. Because success is never on discount. You out here acting like life is a bargain store. You think your dream is gonna go on sale just because you ask nice. You think greatness is sitting on the clearance rack waiting for somebody lazy to come pick it up? Nah, that's not how life works. Life doesn't give out coupons. Life doesn't say, oh, you had a rough week. Here's 30% off your struggle. Life doesn't hand out sympathy discounts. You either put in the full effort or you get left behind. You either do the work or you stay stuck, period. But some of y'all are waiting for the struggle to ease up, waiting for the grind to get a little more comfortable. You're looking around, hoping success drops its price so you can afford it without changing your habits, without changing your mindset. Let me tell you something real. You can't cheat the grind. You can't finesse greatness. You can't hustle halfway and expect full blessings. You think just because you posted a quote on Instagram or wrote your goals in a notebook or prayed before bed that the universe is supposed to hand you success. Nah, it doesn't work like that. You can't show up with discount energy and expect full price results. That dream of yours, that legacy you want to build, it comes with a cost. And the currency is consistency, discipline, pain, and patience. The reason you ain't getting there isn't because you're not talented. It's not because you're not smart. It's because you're waiting on a shortcut that doesn't exist. You're asking for a version of success that doesn't hurt, that doesn't stretch you, that doesn't demand more than what you're giving right now. But that version doesn't exist. You either level up or you stay down. You either pay everything it costs or you settle for less. Those are the only two options. And see, life don't do refunds either. You can't get your time back. You can't get your effort back once it's wasted on complaining, procrastinating, doubting yourself. That's time you could have been paying the full price. That's energy you could have invested into becoming the best version of you. But instead, you were looking for the discount aisle, the easy way out. And that's why you're frustrated. That's why you're still stuck. That's why you're still, because deep down, you know you haven't paid enough yet. You know you're still holding back. Some of you only give 50%. You give effort when you feel like it. You grind when it's convenient. You show up on Monday but disappear by Wednesday. And then you wonder why your life doesn't look like the vision you wrote down. You wonder why your goals are still collecting dust. It's because you've been negotiating with life. You've been saying, how can I get success? But just without the sacrifice. Can I get the dream, but not the discipline? Let me make this plain. Life don't do layaway. You don't get to reserve greatness and then pick it up later when you're more motivated. Motivation don't mean nothing if your grind isn't locked in. You gotta show up when it's hard. You gotta show up when it's boring. You've got to show up when nobody's clapping for you, when nobody's watching. That's full price. That's what it takes. Life is fair to one kind of person. The one who works, the one who grinds in silence, the one who doesn't look for discounts. The one who understands if it's worth having, it's worth sacrificing for. And if you're still out here looking for coupons, looking for easy routes, trying to figure out how to avoid pain, you're not ready. You're not ready. You're not serious yet. Because serious people don't run from the cause. They respect the cost. They embrace the process. They know that anything valuable will stretch them, will hurt them, will mold them. And that's why they're willing to go through it. Stop envying people who made it. Stop wishing you were further along without being willing to do what they did. You don't know what they gave up. You don't know the nights they cried. the hours they invested, the relationships they sacrificed. You just see the outcome, but you don't see the price tag they paid. And if you want what they had, you have to be willing to give what they gave, maybe even more. You gotta stop treating your dream like it's optional, like it's something you'll get to later. It's not optional, it's everything. It's the reason you wake up, the reason you fight, the reason you keep moving, even when everything around you is telling you to stop. And if it really means that much to you, then you have to stop waiting for life to lower the price and start raising your standard to match it. No coupons, no sales, no shortcuts, no easy days. Just work, just sacrifice. Just you showing up again and again and again, proving to yourself that you're worthy. That's how you pay full price. That's how you earn it. That's how you win. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants the trophy, the house, the car, the lifestyle. Everybody wants the applause, the recognition, the success. But when it's time to show up, when it's time to sacrifice, when it's time to grind, suddenly people disappear. Suddenly they're tired. Suddenly it's too much. See, the problem isn't that you don't want it. The problem is that you want it without paying the price. You want it without doing the work. You want it without the pain. But it doesn't work like that. You can't want it and not work for it. Wanting something is easy. Anybody can want. Wanting doesn't take effort. Wanting doesn't separate you from anybody else. There's not a person alive who doesn't want to be successful in some way. But the question is, what are you willing to do about it? What are you willing to give to get it? Because that's where the difference lies. That's the separation between the dreamers and the doers. The people who wish and the people who win. You can talk all day long about how bad you want to be great. You can write it down in a journal. You can post it on your wall. You can make a vision board. But if you're not backing that up with action, real, focus, consistent action, it's just empty words. You gotta stop confusing wanting with working. You've gotta stop thinking that desire alone is enough, because it's not. The world doesn't care how bad you want it. Life doesn't hand out rewards for intentions. It gives them to the people who move. You want to be a leader? Then lead, even when no one is watching. You want to be the best? Then train like it. Study like it. Commit like it. You say you want financial freedom? Then stop wasting time and start investing in your mind, your skills, your discipline. You say you want to be in shape? Then get up, even when it's cold, even when it's early, even when you're sore. Because the body won't change until the work shows up. The dream won't come alive until the grind kicks in. That's the truth. The biggest lie you can tell yourself is that wanting something is enough. It's not. You have to earn it. Every in, every win, every level. You don't just get success because you crazy. You get success because you outworked everybody. You showed up when others quit. You stayed focused when others got distracted. You moved forward when others froze. You didn't just want it, you proved it. Wanting something should be your starting point, not your strategy. Wanting is just step one. After that comes the hustle, the discipline, the sacrifice. You've got to back your passion with productivity. You've got to turn that hunger into habits. Every day, every night, you've got to look at your actions and ask, is what I'm doing lining up with what I say I want? If it's not, you got to change it. You got to close that gap between desire and discipline. The truth is, most people don't fail because they lack talent. Most people don't fail because they lack opportunity. They fail because they won't follow through. They won't do the boring stuff. They won't be consistent. They won't go the extra mile when nobody's looking. They talk a big game, but they don't live it. They love the idea of winning, but hate the reality of grinding. You can't microwave success. You can't press a button and expect greatness to appear. It's earned through repetition, through mastery, through commitment when you're tired, when you're overwhelmed, when the results are slow. That's when it counts. That's when it matters. Anybody can work hard when they feel good. Champions work hard even when they don't. So stop waiting for the feeling to chase your dream. Stop waiting for inspiration, for motivation, for the perfect time. The perfect time is the moment you decide to move. The perfect time is now. Every second you delay, someone else is working. Someone else is reading. Someone else is building. Someone else is building. Someone else is becoming who you say you want to be. And the only thing separating you from them is not desire. It's discipline, not motivation, but movement. You've got to stop living in your head and start living in your grind. Stop dreaming about it and start doing it. Want it, but then work like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your future, your purpose, your peace, it all depends on what you do right now. Not what you want, what you do. And if you're not willing to work, then stop saying you want it. If you're not willing to pay the price, then stop pretending you're ready. Because wanting without working is just wishing. And wishes don't change lives. Work does. Sacrifice does. So if you say you want it, prove it. Show up for it, fight for it, sweat for it, fight for it, sweat for it every single day. You say you want to be successful, but let me ask you something. How bad do you really want it? Because when it gets hard, when life hits you in the mouth, when everything starts falling apart, do you still want it? Or do you fold? Do you retreat? Do you start questioning if the dream was even worth it in the first place? Everybody's motivated when things are easy. Everybody's fired up when it's all going their way. But what about when it's not? What about when the pain sets in? What about when the results are slow? When you're exhausted, when you're doubting yourself and nothing seems to be working? Do you still want it then? See, that's the real test. The pain isn't here to stop you. It's here to show you who you are. It's here to show you who you are. It's here to expose your commitment. Because success never comes without struggle. It never shows up without resistance. Pain is part of the process. Discomfort is part of the process. You don't get to rise without pressure. You don't get to evolve without pain. That's the price of elevation. But most people tap out when it gets tough. Most people think pain is a sign they should quit. They think failure means they're not good enough. But that's not the truth. The pain is a sign you are growing. The discomfort is proof that you're stretching past your limits. And the failures, that's just feedback. That's just part of the process. You have to push through it if you want what's on the other side. You think the greats didn't feel pain? You think champions didn't cry in silence? You think they didn't have nights where they questioned everything? Of course they did, but they kept moving. They kept grinding. They understood that the pain was temporary, but the payoff would last a lifetime. That's the difference. They pushed through it. They didn't stop when they were tired. They stopped when they were done. You've got to be willing to feel pain without running. You've got to be willing to stand in the fire without retreating. Because the fire is what forges you. It's what makes you stronger. It's what burns off your weaknesses, your excuses, your soft spots. Pain is the refiner's fire. It's not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's showing you what needs to go, what needs to grow, and what you're truly made of. You say you want to be the best. You say you want to live a life of greatness. But are you willing to suffer for it? Are you willing to suffer for it? Are you willing to go through the lonely nights? Are you willing to endure the criticism, the doubt, the fear, and still keep pushing? That's what it takes. Nobody becomes great without suffering. Nobody gets to the top without paying that price. Pain is part of the deal. But here's the beautiful thing about pain. It changes you. It either breaks you or it builds you. It either makes you bitter or it makes you better. And you get to decide. You get to choose how you respond. When the pressure hits, will you crack or will you rise? Will you complain or will you compete? Will you fold or will you fight? There's gonna be days where you feel like giving up. There's gonna be days where quitting seems easier than continuing. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that separate the average from the elite. Anyone can chase a dream when it's easy, but the ones who win, they're the ones who chase it when it's hard. They're the ones who keep going through the pain. You've got to develop a mindset that welcomes the grind. You got to train yourself to say, I'll bring it on when adversity knocks. You've got to build that internal toughness that says, this hurts, but I'm not backing down. You've got to become immune to comfort because comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort keeps you soft. Comfort keeps you average. So when the pain shows up, don't run. Don't hide, lean in, embrace it. Learn from it. Let it sharpen you. Let it build you into a person who can carry the weight of the dream you say you want. Because if you can't handle the pressure, you're not ready for the prize. Every champion has scars. Every legend has a story of pain, but they didn't let it stop them. They used it. They turned it into fuel. They took every struggle, every heartbreak, every setback and turned it into power. That's what you need to do. Let the pain shape you. Let it mold you. Let it make you unbreakable. You're not going to win without pain. You're not going to succeed without sacrifice. And if you're not willing to go through it, you're not ready. But if you can fight through the pain, if you can keep going when it hurts, if you can stay locked in when everything in you wants to quit, then there's nothing that can stop you. Because the moment you learn to push through the pain is the moment you earn the right to success. You say you're ready to be great, but greatness doesn't respond to talk. It responds to action. It responds to sacrifice. You can't say you want to rise to the top and still live like everyone else. You can't say you're built for something bigger while moving like you're okay with being average. Success is not about fitting in. It's about standing out. It's about separating yourself from the crowd with your discipline, your work ethic, your consistency. Every time you skip the shortcut, every time you say no to distraction, every time you choose the grind over the comfort, that's you separating yourself. That's you saying, I'm not like everybody else. Because let's be real, everybody wants success, but not everybody is willing to do what it takes. Not everyone is willing to give up the things that bring temporary pleasure to secure permanent purpose. You can't live like the crowd and expect to lead it. You can't hang with average and expect to become exceptional. You gotta be willing to isolate yourself sometime. You've gotta be okay with missing out on some things to gain something greater. There's a cost to being great. There's a price to be paid. And most people aren't willing to pay it. That's why they stay where they are. That's why they keep circling the same mountain year after year, dreaming, but never doing. You've got to make up your mind that you're done being mine, that you're done being part of the background. You've got to stop following trends and start setting standards. You've got to commit to being uncommon in a world full of comfort seekers. When everybody else is asleep, you're up working. When everyone else is partying, you're building. When others are taking breaks, you're pushing forward. That's how you separate yourself. Not by talking louder, but by working harder. By staying locked in when distractions are screaming your name. Success doesn't come to people who wait for the perfect moment. It comes to those who take imperfect steps every single day. It comes to those who keep showing up even when they don't feel like it. It comes to the ones who stay committed long after the move they made the commitment in is gone. Because feelings fade, but standards last. Discipline lasts. And if your dream means enough to you, you'll stop asking, oh, what's comfortable, and start asking, oh, what's necessary. You can't blend in and stand out at the same time. You can't walk the path of least resistance and still expect to rise above. If you're chasing the same distractions as everyone else, doing the bare minimum like everyone else, then don't be surprised when you end up with the same regrets as everyone else. That's why you gotta move differently, think differently, live differently. Every decision you make is either taking you closer to separation or dragging you back into mediocrity. Every time you hit snooze, every time you choose Netflix over progress, every time you let comfort win, you're voting against your dream. But every time you push through, every time you stay focused, every time you give a little more, you're casting a vote for the life you said you wanted. And if you do that enough times, day after day, you'll look up and realize you built something most people only talk about. You've got to love the process more than the praise. You've got to be okay grinding in the shadows while others are shining temporarily in the spot. Because real success is built in the dark. It's built when no one's watching. It's built when you're tired and broke and doubting, but you keep moving anyway. That's what separates winners. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's that relentless drive to outwork, outlast, and outdiscipline everybody else. You don't get to the top by being interested. You get there by being obsessed. Obsessed with improvement. Obsessed with growth. Obsessed with living a life that means something. And obsession isn't glamorous. It's not fun every day. Sometimes it's lonely. Sometimes it's painful, but it's always worth it because obsession gets results. Commitment creates change, and greatness demands everything you got. So if you really want to separate yourself, stop talking about it and start living it. Let your actions speak. Let your results speak. Show up early. Stay late. Do the extra reps. Make the extra calls. Study when you're tired. Push when you're frustrated. Sacrifice when it's inconvenient. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you rise. At the end of the day, nobody's going to hand you greatness. You got to go get it. You got to work for it. You got to bleed for it. You got to bleed for it. You got to suffer for it. And when you finally get it, you'll know it was worth every sacrifice, every tear, every lonely night. Because the only way to truly separate yourself is to be the one who refuses to quit. No matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets. That's what greatness demands. Everybody wants to be successful, but nobody wants to pay full price. People walk around acting like success is supposed to be handed out on a discount rack. They think they put in half the effort and still get all the results. They think success should come fast, come easy, come without sacrifice. But let me tell you something loud and clear. Success is never on discount. It doesn't go on sale. There are no shortcuts, no promo codes, no special offers. If you want it, you pay for it in full with interest. You don't get to skip steps. You don't get to cheat the grind. You don't get to show up late, leave early, and still expect to dominate. That's not how this works. This is a full-time commitment. It's a lifestyle. It's early mornings when your body's telling you to sleep. It's late nights when your mind's screaming for rest. It's choosing pain over pleasure, consistency over convenience, discipline over distraction. The truth is, the grind doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you had a rough day. It doesn't care if nobody's supporting you. The grind is blind to your excuses. It only responds to execution. You either show up or you fall behind. You either give it everything or you get nothing. Let's see, success demands everything from you. Your time, your energy, your focus, your sweat, your sacrifice. And you gotta give it up willingly. You've gotta go all in. Because if you go into this thinking you can halfway commit, thinking you can dabble in your dream, thinking you can occasionally work hard and still make it, you're fooling yourself. You'll be outpaced, outworked, outlasted by the ones who understood from day one. This costs everything. The reason most people never achieve greatness isn't because they lack potential. It's because they're not willing to pay the price. They're hoping they can slide by. They're hoping the grind will show them mercy, but there's no mercy in success. There is no sympathy. This game is about discipline. This game is about sacrifice. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. You've got to stop treating your dream like it's a part-time project, like it's a hobby, like it's something you'll get to when life settles down. No, your dream doesn't wait. Your opportunity doesn't wait. Time is ticking. And every second you delay, someone else is putting in the work. Someone else is locking in. Someone else is waking up before the sun, hitting the gym, building their craft, developing their mind. While you're making excuses, they're making progress. You say you want success, then prove it. Prove it by how you grind when nobody's watching. Prove it by what you sacrifice. Prove it by what you're willing to give up. Because the real price of success is never paid in comfort. It's paid in suffering, in discipline, in commitment. You've got to bleed for this. You've got to be willing to lose sleep, to miss out, to endure pain. Because that's the full price tag. You can't negotiate with success. You can't walk into the marketplace of dreams and try to bargain. Can I get this dream but keep my free time? Can I get this lifestyle but skip the struggle? Can I become great but stay comfortable? No, it doesn't work like that. This is not a negotiation. Success is a take it or leave it deal. All or nothing. You either pay in full, you walk away empty-handed. And here's the hardest truth. Sometimes you'll pay the full price and you still won't see results right away. Sometimes you'll do everything right and still feel like you're stuck. That's the moment that separates the real from the fake. Because the real ones, they keep going, they keep going, they keep paying. They trust that the reward is coming, even when it's invisible. They understand that progress is often quiet, that growth is often unseen. But they keep grinding because they know eventually that your grind pays off. But you gotta keep paying every single day. You don't just pay once and get success for life. You pay daily with your actions, your decisions, your discipline. You keep showing up. You keep investing in yourself. You keep pouring into your dream. It's the most valuable thing you got because it is. You've got to train your mind to fall in love with the process. Not just the outcomes, not just the rewards, but the actual grind, the long days, the challenges, the silence, the setbacks. That's what greatness is for. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadow. Not in the applause, but in the silence. Not in the victory, but in the struggle. So stop waiting for the discount. Stop hoping success will get easier. Stop acting like you can cheat the process. You can't. Cheat the process. You can't. You never could. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you start grinding for real, the sooner you'll start to rise. Not because you hoped for it, not because you deserved it, You don't just stumble into success. You don't accidentally wake up one day at the top. You don't drift into greatness. Success doesn't come by luck, and it definitely doesn't come easy. It's intentional. It's deliberate. It's the result of a made-up mind, a locked-in spirit, a no matter what attitude that refuses to quit. If you want it, you've got to be all. That means showing up every single day with purpose, with focus, with grit, even when the motivation isn't there. A lot of people start strong. They're fired up for a few weeks, maybe a few months. They post about their goals. They talk about their vision. They make all these big declarations, but the moment things get hard, they fall off. The moment things stop being exciting, they disappear. Why? Because they never made a real decision. They were interested in success, but they weren't committed to it. And there's a big difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested, you do what's convenient. When you're committed, you do whatever it takes. When you're interested, you show up when you feel like it. When you're committed, you show up no matter what. You gotta lock in. You gotta decide that quitting isn't an option. That failure isn't final. That excuses aren't welcome. That you're gonna push through every obstacle, every delay, every doubt until you get where you said you were going. You don't get to pick and choose the days you give effort. You don't get to chase a dream with part-time energy. You gotta make up your mind that you're in this all the way, through the highs and the lows, through the easy seasons and the painful ones. You've got to develop the kind of mindset that says, I'm not backing down, I'm not folding, I'm not giving up. No matter how long it takes, I'm gonna finish this. That kind of mental toughness doesn't come from motivation, it comes from discipline. From deciding that your feelings don't run the show anymore, that your emotions don't get to dictate your effort. You train yourself to show up whether you feel like it or not. Whether you're excited or exhausted, whether you're encouraged or discouraged, you keep going, you keep grinding, you keep grinding. Because you've made a vow to yourself, and you're not about to break it. You've got to guard your focus like your future depends on it. Because it does. Every distraction is a thief. Every wasted hour is an opportunity lost. You can't afford to live like the rest of the world. You can't afford to give your energy to everything and everyone. You gotta zero in. You gotta cut the noise. You gotta surround yourself with people who push you, who sharpen you, who hold you accountable. This path requires focus, and focus requires sacrifice. But you've got to remind yourself why you started, because there will be days when you want to quit. There will be days when progress feels slow and results feel invisible. That's when you have to dig deep and remember your why. Why you began. Why you can't stop. Why going back is not an option. You got to have a reason strong enough to pull you through the hard seasons. Something deeper than money. Something more powerful than applause. Your why has to be personal. It has to mean something to you. People are going to doubt you. Life is going to test you. Challenges are going to come. But none of that matters. If you've already decided in your heart that you're not quitting, you've got to make that decision early, before the storm comes, before the pressure hits. So when life throws everything at you, you're not trying to figure out whether to keep going. You already know the answer. So, Courtney, you've already decided. I don't stop. I don't quit. I'm built for this. That's how you build momentum. Not by hoping things will get easier, but by becoming stronger. Yeah, choosing to keep going again and again until your habits become your strength and your consistency becomes your power. That's how you become unstoppable. Not because life stopped being hard, but because you stopped letting it stop. If you want to be elite, if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you got to develop the ability to lock in. You've got to become obsessed with the process. You've got to fall in love with the grind. Because real success lives in the routine. It lives in the repetition. It lives in the repetition. It lives in those ordinary, boring, painful days when no one's watching and nothing's happening and you're still pushing with everything you got. That's the difference maker. That's what separates the ones who talk from the ones who walk, the ones who wish from the ones who win. You've got to make up your mind and stick with it, not for a day, not for a week, for as long as it takes. As long as it takes to build the body. As long as it takes to grow the business, as long as it takes to write the book, develop the skill, create the life. Whatever it takes, however long it takes, you stay locked in. Sometimes the difference between those who succeed and those who fail boils down to one simple truth. You have to push past the pain. Pain is inevitable. It's going to show up in every journey worth taking. It's going to greet you in your training, in your work, in your relationships, and in your dreams. But pushing past that pain, that's where champions are made. That's where winners separate themselves from the rest. Pain is not just physical. It's emotional. It's mental. It's the discomfort you feel when you're working harder than you ever have before. It's the doubt that creeps in when things don't go your way. It's the loneliness when others don't understand your vision or won't support your grind. It's the fear that whispers you should give up because it's too hard. But pushing past that pain means telling yourself, I'm not stopping here. Not today. Not ever. When you push past pain, you're choosing growth over comfort. You're choosing progress over excuses. You're choosing to believe that the discomfort is temporary, but the reward is forever. Pain is a sign you're stretching your limits. It's proof that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and into a new version of yourself. And that's the only way to evolve, the only way to get better, the only way to climb high. Too many people stop at pain. They see the struggle and they back away. They feel the burn and they quit. They hear the criticism and they fold. But those who push past the pain are the ones who understand that pain is not the enemy. It's the gateway, it's the gatekeeper to something greater. You have to learn to embrace it, to welcome it, to use it as fuel to drive you forward. Every champion, every legend, every successful person you admire has had to push past pain. They've had setbacks, failure, and moments of doubt. They've faced obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome, but they didn't let those moments define them. Instead, they used pain to sharpen their focus, to deepen their commitment, and to ignite their passion. They transformed pain into power. Pushing past pain requires mental toughness. It requires a mindset that says, I can handle more than this. I am stronger than this. It requires resilience to get back up every time you get knocked down. It requires persistence to keep moving forward, even when the path is steep and the journey feels endless. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. Pain will come in waves. Some days it will hit you harder than others. But if you can keep pushing, if you can keep fighting, if you can keep showing up despite the pain, you'll start to build a strength that nothing can break. That strength will become your foundation. It will become your armor. It will become your edge. Remember, pain is temporary. The struggle is temporary. But the rewards of pushing past that pain, those are lasting. They're permanent. They're life-changing. When you decide to push past pain, you decide to win. You decide to be better. You decide to live up to your potential. So when the pain comes, and it will, don't run, don't hide, don't give up. Push through it. Use it. Let it be the fuel that drives you forward. Because on the other side of pain is progress. On the other side of pain is success. On the other side of pain is everything you've been fighting for. One of the most powerful keys to success is to understand that the road you're traveling is not meant to be easy. It's meant to challenge you, to test you, and to force you to grow. But sometimes the hardest part about that journey isn't the obstacles or the setbacks, it's staying focused. Staying focused is a skill. It's a discipline. It's a muscle you have to develop and strengthen every day if you want to make real progress toward your goals. Distractions are everywhere. In today's world, with constant notifications, social media, endless entertainment, and busy schedules, it's easier than ever to lose sight of what truly matters. The moment you lose focus, your progress slows, your momentum stalls, and your dream drifts further away. That's why focus is more important than talent, more important than luck, and more important than even hard work alone. Without focus, none of it matters. To stay focused, you gotta be clear about your why. You need a reason so strong that it anchors you when the storms hit. When distractions try to pull you away, when setbacks threaten to derail you, your why is the thing that pulls you back. It reminds you what you're fighting for. It reminds you what's on the line. That kind of clarity keeps your mind locked in and your eyes on the prize. It's also about managing your environment. Focus doesn't just happen, you create it. You set the conditions for success. That means cutting out unnecessary noise, saying no to things that don't serve your goals, and surrounding yourself with people who support your vision. It means scheduling your time carefully, prioritizing tasks that move you forward, and protecting your energy like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Discipline plays a huge role here. No, focus isn't just about motivation or willpower. Those things fade. Discipline is the foundation that keeps you consistent when the excitement wears off. It's the habit of showing up every day and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to keep your eyes on the goal, even when distractions and temptations call your name. Developing discipline means building routines that support your focus and sticking to them no matter what. Another critical aspect is learning to say no. Success demands sacrifices, and that means letting go of distractions, both big and small. It might mean missing out on social events, limiting screen time, or avoiding toxic relationships. It might mean turning down opportunities that don't align with your path. Saying no is hard because it means you're not doing what's easy or comfortable, but it's necessary if you want to protect your focus and preserve your energy. Staying focused also requires mental toughness. You have to push through the moments when your mind wants to wander, when doubt creeps in, and when fear tries to steal your attention. That's where resilience comes in. Resilience means bouncing back from setbacks, brushing off distractions and recentering yourself on your mission. It means training your brain to refocus quickly and refusing to let temporary setbacks steal your progress. Technology, while a blessing in many ways, can be the biggest enemy of focus if not managed well. You have to set boundaries with your devices, turn off notifications, use apps that limit distractions, and designate times when you're unplugged. You have to protect your attention because once it's fragmented, it's hard to get back. The sharper your focus, the more productive and effective you become. Remember, focus compounds over time. Every moment you spend fully concentrated on your goal adds up. It builds momentum, it creates results. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is often just a matter of how well they manage their focus. People who succeed are the ones who learn how to eliminate distractions, create systems for concentration, and stick with it day after day. It's important to celebrate progress, but don't let small victories distract you from the bigger picture. Stay locked in. Keep your goals in front of you. Keep pushing. When you feel your focus slipping, remind yourself what's at stake. Remember that the price of distraction is lost time and lost opportunity, and you can't afford either. Focus is not a one-time effort. It's a lifestyle. It requires constant attention, regular adjustment, and a deep commitment to your vision. It's the difference between a dream that stays a dream and a dream that becomes reality. So every day, make the choice to be intentional about where you put your attention. Be ruthless about cutting out what doesn't serve you. Be disciplined about sticking to your plan. And above all, stay locked in because your future depends on it. Success is not something that happens overnight, and it's definitely not something that happens by accident. It is the result of relentless consistency. The key to achieving greatness lies in your ability to show up day after day, put in the work, and keep moving forward regardless of how you feel or what obstacles come your way. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's not flashy. It doesn't come with applause or instant gratification, but it is the foundation upon which all lasting success is built. Many people want success, but they want it fast. They want to see quick results. They want their dreams to come true immediately. But that's not how life works. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. Not a sprint. It's about developing habits and routines that keep you moving forward consistently, even when progress seems slow or invisible. It's about discipline over motivation because motivation fluctuates. Some days you'll feel energized and ready to conquer the world, and other days you'll feel drained and want to quit. Consistency means you don't let those fluctuations dictate your efforts. The challenge with consistency is that it often requires doing the same thing over and over again without immediate rewards. It demands patience and trust in the process. You won't always see the fruits of your labor right away, but every small step you take compounds over time. Imagine stacking tiny bricks every day. Eventually, you build a strong, unshakable foundation. That foundation becomes your success. Consistency also builds momentum. When you keep showing up day after day, your efforts gain energy and speed. You develop muscle memory, sharpen your skills, and gain confidence. Momentum carries you through the tough days when motivation dips, and it makes it easier to stay on track. On the other hand, inconsistency disrupts progress. It creates starts and stops that drain your energy and waste precious time. Another important aspect of consistency is accountability. Holding yourself responsible for your actions, your time, and your progress is critical. You can't blame external circumstances or wait for the perfect conditions. You have to own your journey, your choices, and your results. Accountability means setting goals, tracking your progress, and being honest with yourself about where you're falling short. It means showing up even when you don't feel like it, because you know that's what separates those who win from those who fail. It's important to understand that consistency doesn't mean perfection. You will make mistakes. You will have setbacks. You will face days when things don't go as planned. But consistency is about commitment to the process despite those bumps in the road. It's about getting back up, refocusing, and continuing to move forward. The difference between success and failure is not the absence of failure. It's the refusal to quit. When you commit to being consistent, you develop self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses and stay focused on your goals. It's the muscle that grows stronger with every day you choose consistency over distraction. Self-discipline makes it easier to resist temptations that pull you away from your path and to prioritize what matters most. Consistency also builds trust in yourself and trust from others. When you consistently deliver results, meet deadlines, and show dedication, people begin to rely on you. Opportunities come your way because you've earned a reputation for being dependable. That trust opens doors and creates new possibilities for growth. The path to success is filled with ups and downs, but consistent action smooths out the bumps. It helps you stay on course, maintain clarity, and move steadily toward your vision. Every small effort adds up to big results. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control your actions and your response. Success is not a one-time event. It's a habit. It's a lifestyle. And it's a daily decision. Each day you choose to show up, put in the work, and stay consistent. You're investing in your future. You're laying bricks in the foundation of your dreams. No matter how slow the progress seems, keep going. The power of consistency will carry you to places you never imagined possible. Keep showing up, keep grinding, and success will follow.